Hello everybody, how are y'all doing today? I hope that you are having a great day today. It is Friday here, so I'm super excited for the weekend. I have a couple of projects planned and I'm also working on something really cool and I'm really excited to share with you guys what I'm going to be doing. So more on that coming soon. But in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I deal with negative reviews and difficult customers because, you know, we've all been there. Just like life, there's negative people out there, so we have to deal with it really in all aspects of life. So I figured this would be a good video to kind of explain to some of you. I've been getting a couple of questions on how I deal with this, so I kind of threw together how I deal with these situations. So if you know that feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach when you get that notification saying you have a new review. All the anticipation, not knowing, is it a good review, is it a bad review? Now, I have been on Etsy for several years and I still to this day get a little bit nervous when I get that review, but just know, take a deep breath, it's okay. I'm not gonna lie though, when I say reviews are actually super important. Just when it comes to the livelihood and reputation of your shop, it is extremely important to have a good reputation. If you sell on websites like Etsy, Amazon, places like that, you know that reviews are super important. And Etsy, for example, they have a thing called ODR, which is kind of like customer service standards that they have for their sellers, that they expect of their sellers. And something that they really started nailing down about, I guess, a year ago, and it kind of freaked a lot of sellers out. So what they started to do was, if you get a couple of bad reviews within a time frame, they put your shop in review, and during that review, if you get bad reviews again, they will shut your shop down. And it is a very nerve-wracking thing just because sometimes customers can leave reviews that are unfair. So maybe like misunderstandings or shipping delays, things that are out of your control, and it's really not fair. So a lot of times people were freaking out about that, but just know there are ways to handle all types of situations. And if you're doing what you can as a business owner, so reaching out when there's problems, correcting issues if there are any, fixing items that might have defects, just anything of that nature, and doing what you can, that makes you a good business owner, because we're all gonna have bad reviews. All shops will get one or two here and there, or bad reviews here and there. That is completely normal. That is part of life. So just know, if you get that review, just start with a deep breath. So let's go ahead and pretend you got that review. You opened it up and you looked and it was not a good review. First tip that I would give you is to first breathe and then take a minute and just really break down what the customer is explaining to you. Read it again, just really break down what your customer is saying, because first you got to put yourself in their shoes. They spent their money on your shop and they are upset. And you, if you're a good business owner, you're going to care about what your customers think and what is their issues. You want to be able to fix it. And first thing is just to read, analyze, and just know, like, disappointment is so normal. It is okay to feel that way, and it is okay to be upset. It's very normal, and that just means that you're a good business owner and that you care. So the first thing that you need to for sure do, and this is a huge piece of advice that I give everyone that asks, do not respond right away. I know it's hard because you're going to be very emotional and want to fix it immediately, but if you got to remember that they just posted that review, so they're still upset about whatever is going on. They're upset. And you're going to be upset, and two upset people coming together, it's not going to go well. So give yourself time to cool down and give them time to cool down. Walk away, try and forget about it for at least a little while. Don't wait too long, but just give yourself, you know, a little bit of time to just kind of process everything and figure out how you're going to respond in a professional way and all that. Another thing to kind of keep in mind is to remember your policies. So if you have policies set in place of your shop and things that you for sure, you know, want to do, remember those. And just remember, you don't want to get walked on and walked all over, because there will be customers that take advantage of the system, and I hate to say it, but that is part of it. Like, there's gonna be people like that, and unfortunately. So just remember to stand your ground on certain situations and know that it is okay to make your own rules about what you feel is okay to do, just based on different situations. But one thing I always suggest to do is just refresh your memory on your policies and stick to them if you can. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna wanna do is to send the customer a message once you cool down and once you're ready. Send them a message Do not respond to the actual review publicly. That is a big no-no. If you do that right away, it locks down the review to where they cannot change it. So even if you make the situation right, do not respond publicly yet. Go ahead and send them a message. Usually when you get that review on Etsy, you have a little link where you can contact the customer. So I always click that and send them a message over there. If I don't hear back from that within a little while, I will send them an email to their email. So go ahead and reach out, and the first thing you're going to want to do in that email is to be extremely just polite and respectful and caring. So start off by saying something like, I am so sorry that you are unsatisfied with your order, and then you'll kind of go into more details just depending on what's wrong. So let's think of some reasons why you might get that bad review. So one of the huge ones that a lot of sellers are very frustrated with is a misunderstanding. So sometimes there will be customers that don't read your listing, which is very frustrating, but they will miss some big piece of information out that you already provided, and they'll be upset. Like, let's say that they didn't know the size of the item because they didn't read or something like that. And that is not your fault. It is their fault, unfortunately, but you're not going to have that mindset when you talk to them. A way you might reach out to them in a situation like this would be, I'm so sorry that you were unsatisfied with your order. I already had this information in the listing, and then you can kind of provide the link to it or whatever else. Just so you know, customer service is extremely important to me. What can I do in future to help keep this from happening again, or something along the lines of that? Doing it this way is letting them know you care and that you are trying to better yourself and better your business, and let them feel heard and let them feel like what they have to say is relevant and all of that stuff. And take what they have to say, whatever they may say back, take that and use that advice. And feedback is really good for you as a shop owner. It can help you prevent situations from happening in the future. And sometimes you already do everything you can, but you know what? At least you reached out. Sometimes you'll never hear back from them. Sometimes you'll hear back and they'll be like, I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. They'll go and they'll change their review. It's always a good idea to reach out. Even if you're upset about something, it can always be a misunderstanding, and that's the best thing to do. That's the way that I respond if there's ever a misunderstanding. And just keep in mind, it's not your fault, so you don't have to do anything. But sometimes if the item is really low price, like a vinyl decal or something like that, I'll just send it to them again and let them know, I'll do this a one time, just know that, and then refer back to your listing and things like that. And a lot of times leaving your customer satisfied and happy is just really the best practice when you have a business. And here and there, sending customers items, even if it was their fault or their mess up, it's just really good customer service. Okay, another scenario, which isn't a good scenario, but let's say that they're completely unhappy with their order for some reason or another. They don't hate it, they don't like it, just super unhappy, or that you get a review that's blank, just 1 star, something like that. So if that situation happens, you're going to obviously want to reach out to them and apologize, tell them you're sorry that they're unsatisfied with their order, and then ask them why they're unhappy, and kind of leave it open for conversation. So that's sometimes the best way to start off those kind of conversations, and just kind of see what they have to say. And remember to keep that mindset of putting yourself in their shoes, knowing they spent their money on your shop and they're going to be upset with something and they expected something different. So just really keep your mind open and see what they have to say. And this is another one of those situations where if you did something wrong, or if the customer's not happy, make it right, because you as a business owner, something in their mind wasn't right. So you need to try and make it right for your customer. Sometimes you got to just eat the cost and remake them an item, or in a worst case scenario, refund. But that's always the last resort, I would feel. If they are extremely unhappy, just make it right to them. And most of the time, they're very happy with that outcome. So if you remake it and resend it out to them, usually they're very satisfied with that. And you don't usually have to refund unless there is a customer that's like, no, not doing it, not happening. that's really the way that you have to handle those situations. I mean, but stick to your policies, remember your policies, and just do the best that you can to ensure that you're having good customer service. Okay, so another scenario might be that they said that their item never arrived. So this is one of those situations that's completely out of your control. You know, shipping is especially crazy, especially right now. There's a lot of delays, and especially tracking delays. So the tracking will act like it hasn't updated, and then the customers get frustrated. So again, you start sending off your message with them, explaining that you're very sorry that they're dealing with this. You know how frustrating it is. You know, relate to them in some way, shape, or form. Explain to them with the world and everything going on right now, shipping is delayed, and unfortunately once it leaves your place, it's out of your hands and into the shipping carrier's hands. So a lot of times the best thing is to send them their tracking information again, let them know that you did send it and you're very sorry that the item didn't arrive, and send them another one if it's a low cost item. If it was an extremely expensive item, either you contact the shipping company and find out a little bit more information as to what happened to the order. If it's or if it has insurance, a lot of times you can work with the shipping company like that, but make sure that you're letting your customer know that you're willing to do what it takes to help them. Because if you think about it, if you spent money somewhere and your item didn't arrive, I would be really upset too. So just do what you can and feel what's best for you. Like I said, if it's low cost, and I've just resend it, but definitely reach out to the shipping companies. Sometimes they can figure out where it is or what's going on. So that's the best way to kind of handle situations like that. Another thing to keep in mind is if your customer is using profanity, cussing at you, yelling at you, anything like that, obviously they can't yell at you, but you know what I mean. If you're feeling vibes that they're extremely angry, calling you names, whatever else, Etsy does not deal with that. So you can get that review removed. If they also mention third-party places, they can remove that as well. So just keep that in mind when you're getting really nasty reviews, that there's always a chance that you can get that removed. Even in conversations, if they're speaking to you rudely or if they're threatening to leave a review, anything like that. I fortunately have not had too many crazy situations. I have had a couple, but I'm not going to say anything on here. I wish that I could tell you some things that have happened, but I'm not going to do that because I love all of my customers. And you know what? You really do never know what somebody is going through, why they might be acting a certain way. You know, I have had somebody in the past be very rude, and it's just sometimes it makes you really know that everybody's going through stuff in their life, and they might just be having a really bad day, and you might be the person that they're taking it out on. And you know, it's not fair, but that's part of being a business owner. And bad feedback is actually how you grow and how you improve as a business owner. It helps you just to become stronger, help you to improve your products and make yourself better. Each time that you get that bad review or anything like that, just know that is how you improve. And another thing that's very important to remember, if you're getting a lot of bad reviews, like more than one or two every now and again, then something might need to change in your business. So you might need to go and look and find out what the common issue is and fix it. So if like it's a quality issue, figure out what you need to go and improve. If it's a customer service issue, improve. You know, any kind of situation that you're seeing reoccur, you need to, if it's bad enough, put your shop on vacation and go and reassess and just figure out what you need to do to fix it, because you don't want to keep it going if you're doing something wrong. So I'm going to use an example here. A couple of years ago, I was offering free shipping with my vinyl decals, and I was shipping with a stamp. So I decided to do what a lot of other decal owners were doing. I said, okay, free shipping, I can do this. And it ended up being one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, because I dealt with a whole new realm of customers that were impatient and didn't want to wait for the snail mail stuff to arrive. Even though I had an option for them to buy first class shipping or priority, they would choose the free shipping option, and it would be too slow and it would get lost in the mail. And that was the first time that I started getting negative feedback. And I would also had my first cases opened up against me, which was heartbreaking. And the customers actually didn't reach out to me before leaving bad feedback and things like that. So it was really upsetting. But that's what I did. I stopped and I said, okay, free shipping is not working for my shop at all. So what I did was I think it was after Christmas, when I was revamping my shop, I just put everything back on regular first class, there's no option of getting free shipping unless you spend over $35, and I just included it at my cost. But I knew that it was an issue and people were upset about that. So I definitely stopped including that. It was not worth the risk for me and my shop, but that's just an example. So if you see something that's going wrong, stop it and reassess and just change it. And a lot of times, like I said, I haven't had any problems with non-delivery or slow delivery or anything like that since. So just a tip there. So I guess in conclusion, I will go ahead and say that, you know, having a business, this bad reviews, negative feedback, difficult customers are going to happen no matter who you are. It's gonna happen one day. And I'll never forget my first bad review. It literally broke my heart. I said, I thought that this would never happen, but it does. It happens to absolutely everyone. Even if you make perfect things, there's gonna be someone out there that is either not happy or that is not, you know, satisfied. So just know that's normal. So yeah, I guess that wraps it up for this video. Just a couple little tips here and there on how to deal with negative feedback and rude customers and whatever else. Just know that it is okay, it is normal to know that you are still good enough, you are still a good business owner, and you can always improve. If you're getting those reviews, like I said, just assess, see what needs to be done, see what needs to be changed, and if it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands, and just handle it the best way that you can and move on with your life, because it really, you'll forget about it in a couple days. So it's all gonna be okay. So I hope that y'all enjoy this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I guess I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.